So Standard's got a lot of combo decks in it right now, and things that are very close to combo, even if not directly so. Hey, thanks for 3/4 of a year, Pengu Power. Underworld Breach is a card that has made waves in basically every format of Magic, but has yet to really find a home in Standard. This deck is attempting to kind of break this card in the same way it's been broken in both Pioneer and Historic when we've played it. So Underworld Breach gives each non-land card in your graveyard escape. The escape cost is equal to its mana cost plus exiling 3 cards from your yard. And what this deck is looking to do is, with 2 copies of Drowned Secrets in your graveyard, or with 2 copies of Drowned Secrets in play, if you have Lotus Field out and you have Kioras with Underworld Breach, what you can do is when you cast Kiora, it mills you for 4. And then Kiora can downtick, untapping Lotus Field. So Kiora is basically free. She pays for herself with Lotus Field out. Then you cast another Kiora from your bin, escaping 3 of the 4 cards the last Kiora milled with the Drowned Secrets. Then the new Kiora untaps Lotus Field, and the old one goes to the bin. So with double Drowned Secrets Underworld Breach, with 2 of these in your discard pile, you can deck yourself. And then once you deck yourself, you cast Thassa's Oracle from your bin with the Underworld Breach to win the game with its alt text trigger. So someone in chat just said 5-card combo, woof. You're not thinking critically about what's going on here. This deck is actually a 1-card combo. It's a 2-card combo, and that's why Underworld Breach is so good. This card lets you cast your combo pieces from the graveyard when you play it. So with Lotus Field in play, you cast Underworld Breach, and then you cast Drowned Secrets, and then start comboing with Kiora, all from your discard pile. So we have a number of cards here, like Cavalier, like Tamiyo, that fill our graveyard up. And it's not even strictly a Lotus Field combo, because if you have double Wolfwillow Haven in your discard pile or in play on the same land, double Wolfwillow Haven on a blue source lets you combo instead of Lotus Field as well. So past all of that, this deck also just kind of has a ramp plan and can Uro, Cavalier of Thorns, Tamiyo, grind people out, and attack. So, like, I actually really like what this deck is doing, and even though when you look at the number of cards involved, it's like, oh, that's a lot of cards at a glance, but when you actually think about what's trying to happen and how stupid this card is, you realize that it's like, oh, this actually comes together very easily when I find this, and then you get to add on top of it, we just get to be a mid-range deck. It's very potentially strong. We had Omni OV, thank you for the 12 months of support, and Bums, thanks for the half a year. Welcome back, folks. I appreciate you keeping me around. So I'm gonna play this one on the rank ladder. I think the potential for this is certainly here. Let's see how this goes. Just dodge mono red. Is the mono red matchup bad? I mean, we have Arboreal Grazer and Uro. It's not great. Not something we might want to address from the sideboard. Which means mono red matchup's not great. It means it's gonna be mono mountains from here on out. Are there Thrashing Brontodons in my sideboard? There are not. It's probably a card to consider. Yeah, probably dead here. It doesn't really surprise me that this deck has a bad mono red matchup. Mono red in large part is what pushed Temur ramp out of the format. It's a downside. It's not really a downside. Disagree. We're just in here. Tamiyo is exceptionally bad here. Side out the entire combo plan. I mean, so you just cut these cards then and leave Tamiyo in? I have Aether Gust too. Just do this. Sure. Am I gonna get through all of these decks today? Barring any cuts, yeah, I'm planning to play all these decks today. My schedule on Mondays is to be live till about 5 p.m. Central Stormy Waters, which is approximately 7.5 hours from now. Mondays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Fridays are longer streams in Hoaglandia. Relevant Magic-related links are always welcome. Rules in Hoaglandia are very simple. Act like an adult, you'll be treated like an adult. Act like a child, you'll be put in the corner like a child. There's been standard. I can usually tell how popular a format is overall based on how many cuts there are in general. So, standard's been really popular lately, which means more people have been cutting the line to see it sooner rather than later. For the first time since Pioneer became a format, I have more standard decks than Pioneer decks in the queue, which is telling both of the quality of the current standard format and the quality of the current Pioneer format, I think. It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. The easy game where we were on the play and they didn't have a 1-drop here. An old man in a cave told me it's dangerous to go it alone. Thanks for the happy year, gamer. Welcome back. Love your quality and enjoy your content. Thanks for the 2 years, Alucard. Welcome back. Alright, this game is super over. My weekend was swell, Blue Cactus. Hey, Matt Breathless. Thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to Hoaglandia. Hope you're having a good one wherever you are. We took the kids on a hike with their Cub Scout pack yesterday. Saturday, took them to the Children's Museum in Uptown Normal. It's good, relaxed weekend. Even made it to the gym at one point. Swish, chat, swish. Never didn't have it. Yes, ideally you want to put Wolfwillow Haven on a blue source if you're comboing. Wow, that's so rude. That's so rude. Okay, whew. was a little upset. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Geoff, Disco Inferno, thanks for the 18 months. Do do be do 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 be do 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 do. You just casual like turn 3 Cav here. Oh, land that doesn't hurt me. Baby, don't hurt me no more. Oh, wow! And Lotus Field gives me enough cards in the bin to escape Uro next turn. Just to be the bit leader, put it towards your choice. Thank you. Thanks, Rad. I appreciate the support. Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so this attack means they have Ember Cleave, right? So I'm gonna block like this. Oh, I should have left blue up because I can't play Thassa's Oracle now. That's fine. We can hold up Aether Gust. That turn was gross, and I subscribed just to say it was gross. Excellent. It was a pretty above average turn. Well, if they weren't already dead, they're almost assuredly dead now, huh? Your move, Yugi boy. This is all I got. I mean, they're dead to the Aether Gust, right? This is 10, I go to 7. Okie doke. Yeah, remember that this deck was supposed to be legal with Once Upon a Time and Veil of Summer and all of the other things. It was a good sideboard plan, agree. Agree. And Oko, yep. Sure. Yeah, Field plus Uro would have been real silly. Field would have been really silly. Huh? Think she's worse than a random at this point. I don't have anything in my hand that she does anything with. My sample size is kind of small, Lustry. I think that archetype has the tools to be competitive there. Traditionally speaking, control with discard tends to be good against control without discard. Well then. So against control, we're just gonna cut Arboreal Grazer, bring in 4 Mystic Dispute, I think. Click submit. Seems fine. What do we think? Hey, what's going on, Zaffa? Good to have you here in Hoaglandia on a live day. You like Return to Nature for killing Conquer's Death. I suppose they could have, Banishing Light and stuff in their deck too. Let's try that. Yeah, could be a Doom Foretold deck. I like that observation. I think we gotta throw this 2-lander back, chat. I think we gotta throw this 2-lander back. Jeff, I want to say you were super right about Team Iraq. It did about as much in the world streams as it does on your stream. Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't know. Team Iraq's just been real mediocre. What was its win rate, right? Like at the event this weekend? Anybody know offhand? It's a good draw. All right, give me a blue spell. They could be Esper Hero. I mean, that doesn't answer my question, Exhaus Prime. I know PV1. I said, how did the Temur deck do? That was my question. What was its win rate like? I also like, for the people that are asking, like, listen to my question, chat. I don't care who top 8'd. I don't care who won. I asked you, how did the specific deck do? The details are important. There was a limited portion of this event, so ideally, when you're giving me an answer, you shouldn't just tell me what place a deck got. You should, for a small field like that, you should be able to post win rates. You should be able to say, Jeff, the deck won 40% of its matches, or it won 70% of its matches. Those are questions you should be able to answer for that small field. So looking for anything here that allows me to trigger Kiora, Cavalier, Uro, etc. Of course, Mr. Payne. Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. Thanks. Probably dead here. We did mulligan to 5. Hey, we found one of the cards we wanted though. Got that going for us. I subscribed for Pioneer, but stayed for Hoagland yelling at Twitch chat. God bless. There's always plenty of that. So this draws them cards, but it also, like, feeds my escape cards. So, like, we got that going for us. Got him. I like how I talk about, I'm just, have a timeout, Bacon. I like how I'm sitting here talking about how I don't care what the finish was. There's just more people in chat just like telling me what the finishes of the decks were. Did I stutter, chat? Did I stutter? So they get to look at my top 3 here and take 1, which they can cast with mana of any color. I think I just Uro here. Kiora is a combo piece, so we'll leave that in the bin. From what I see looking at the brackets, 8 wins and 12 losses for Temur. Look at that. There's someone that heard the words I was saying. I appreciate you, Zephyr. I'm going to decline to put this land into play because Cavalier, or if they down-tick this Ashiok, I would like to exile the land to its form. Good chance they just bounce Uro here, depending on what the rest of their hand looks like. I haven't played Magic in almost a year. I'm here exclusively for the Jeff Rand. Thanks for the Biddies, Beetle. It's good to have you here. It had a 40% win rate, and that was because Autumn pulled it up. Yikes. Are they about to, like, Mystic Dispute me with my own dispute? Intervention, sure. I'm not dead yet, right? Going to 2. If they don't take my Thassa's Oracle here and they're out of counterspells, we could potentially win the game next turn. Depending on what these Thief of Sanities mill over. These Thieves milling us could let us combo kill them. Good chance they have, like, our Mystic Disputes or something in their hand at this point, though. Oh, Oracle's on the bottom. There's a lot of ifs here. We're very unlikely to win from here, but we're not 0%, which kind of highlights some of the strength of what our deck has going on, huh? I assume they're going to pick back up Thassa's Intervention here. Or a discard spell. Oh. Okay. If they have a counterspell, we're just dead. Yep. Alright, so Thief of Sanity means I want Arboreal Grazer. Mystic Dispute still seems fine. Return to Nature and Wolfwillow Haven seem less appealing. What do we think of this? I think I like it. Yeah, game wins isn't really super relevant. Match wins is more important. It doesn't stop Elspeth Conquers Death. It stops the second and third line, but it does not stop the very important first line. I think if I wanted an anti-Conqueror's Death card, it would be Disdainful Stroke. I'm not sure I want 6 counter spells in this matchup. And again, people suggesting sideboard cards suggest cut so you're not being helpful. Please and thank you. Looking for more lands at this point, huh? Yeah, I'd assume there's 3 minutes of freeze in their deck too. Not a huge fan of Disdainful Stroke against 3 mana Teferi in general. You spoiled kids, so not used to people actually cutting the line in Standard. Back in my day, there were Standard cut the lines all the time, and waiting to see a deck was normal. Standard's just been so bad for so long, the turnaround's been real quick. I think tournaments would be more interesting if participants didn't have to submit online their decks. You mean if deck? Are you trying to say you're asking me if I think tournaments would be more interesting if deck lists weren't public? Is that what you're asking? I'm not sure I understand your question. Yeah, Grazer is just asserting dominance here, for sure. Just letting them know what's up. No, I think that's much worse. I think adding a sub-layer of both secrecy and benefiting people who can scout makes hidden deck lists very bad. I think the only people who really like hidden deck lists tend to be people who use the word net deck unironically, and those type of people you shouldn't be concerned with their opinions for competitive stuff. What happens when deck lists aren't public? So, for example, they didn't always have deck lists for people that are newer to competitive Magic. They didn't always have public deck lists at large tournaments. The result is the competitive teams, what they end up doing is when someone on their team finishes their round, they start scouting the entire tournament. So what private deck list does is it gives an unfair advantage to people who have more. What's up, dude? You got beads? Where'd those come from?
They're not beads, they're necklaces.
They're necklaces?
They're from Jacob's treasure chest.
His treasure chest? Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool. They have off school today, chat.
Ooh, a big squirrel.
Hey, I love you. Upstairs, please. Those are behind you. I will. And Baroric, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oakland Day. Hope you're having a wonderful Monday wherever you're at in the world. Blocks. I don't understand what you're trying to say, Frogfart. You're not communicating your idea particularly well. He did actually manage to close the door. Look at that. Points for Declan. Feels dead, man. Feels dead. I guess we do this, and then we escape this. We like plus naming Cavalier. So, Underworld Breach sacks itself at end of turn. Feeling dead versus the Rider 2? Maybe. We got 2 more Underworld Breaches here. If we'd have hit a Cavalier of Thorns there, we might have been in an okay spot. We missed, so we're probably dead. Good quality sequencing here. Excellent. That's true too. Hidden deck list to say, oh, did they just click the wrong one? All right, so you're saying there's a chance. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I don't believe it was on an adventure. I'm pretty sure that was last game. Need to find Cavalier Thorns here. Okay. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Oh, do 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 do, do 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 do. It's another Cavalier I can put on top of my deck. That seems fine, huh? Never tell me the odds, chat. Ain't nobody got time for that. Okay. Block, bump, go to 1. I'm gonna down tick Tamiyo, get a land, play the land, play Cavalier, escape Uro. We're dead to another removal spell here, but we're not gonna be dead on board. Baby steps, chat. Baby steps. Well, the Oracle couldn't jump, so seems like a bad line. Hey, Knacker, thanks for the 10 months. There is a lot of text in the cards. That's fair. Am I dead yet? So got ground out of that game a little bit. I don't know. The Arboreal Grazers were definitely super awkward there to start. A Grazer not particularly good in the control matchups, but I brought them back in for the 3rd game because we got killed by multiple Thieves of Sanity in the 2nd game after we mulliganed a little bit. So kind of putting in a pretty unique take on a control build, though, that made it tough for us to really get set up post-board. I feel like our plan that we would execute against, like, blue-white was very different than what we would do there. Seems like a mulligan. Okay. Hey, Warlordy, thank you for the 9 months support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I did, Bacon. The problem with John Oliver's segment is that the people that need to watch it probably won't watch John Oliver. That's part of the problem. The problem is that if you watch his segment, all of the anti-Medicare for all FUD was mostly Fox News clips. And people that are getting their information from Fox News aren't gonna find their way into watching a liberally slanted show like John Oliver's. He might sway some people on Pete Buttigieg, though. There's probably some centrist Dems that find themselves watching him on occasion. Yeah, it could matter for the primaries. Hey, Jackie, thanks for the 13 months. Yeah, we haven't gotten to combo yet. Hopefully we do that before we're done here. If one of your priorities is fixing healthcare in the United States, I would heavily discourage you from supporting Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg's plan is a lukewarm take that doesn't fundamentally address any of the issues with Medicare in our country. It keeps the corporate profits. Pete's plan is basically a GOP talking point. It's a plan that sounds really okay on paper if you don't understand how things work. But when you understand how the medical system works and how one of the reasons Medicare for all would be good is because it cuts through the crap and gets rid of all the nonsense and bureaucracy, you realize that Medicare for all who want it isn't really that. It doesn't accomplish what Medicare for all would accomplish. Pete Buttigieg is an incredibly good politician. He's run a very good campaign. He's pivoted and changed what he says he believes in to appeal to the most amount of people rather than having himself be fundamentally grounded in what he believes in. He panders to whoever thinks will give him the most votes, and he's done that very successfully. To give compliments where compliments are due, Pete's campaign has been run very well. He's pandered very successfully.
Stop interrupting me. You are setting a bad example.
All right, so we have 6, 7, 8. How did I like Obama? I'm going to be honest, I'm not incredibly informed on Barack Obama's positions on most things because I was not politically engaged. I did not ever vote for Barack Obama. I've talked about this on stream in the past. I did not, in 2016, I voted for a third-party candidate because I didn't care. I was raised in what you could definitely describe as a conservative household. And Donald Trump made me realize that I needed to wake the fuck up and that these things mattered and that they were not all the same. That's also true. In 08, I wasn't old enough to vote. In 08, I was 17. Let's plus this here. Same Underworld Breach. Might actually be able to combo from here, huh, if we hit it? I am 29. Alright, so if I grab this forest, I can Uro this turn, which is great. I also live in Illinois, which is an incredibly safe blue state. So like all the ballots here, thanks to the Electoral College, went to Hillary anyways. You sure you're 17 and 08? You look 40. I've been an angry old man for going on a decade now. I think the position on healthcare of the candidate that gets elected is incredibly important, and this is why. So, regardless of whether or not Pete or Bernie are the nomination, it's unlikely that their plan verbatim is going to get implemented. The important reason why I support Bernie, and I would encourage others to do the same, is overtone window. Bernie is pushing us really far, and if you push far and then you compromise when you've pushed far, you get something that's actually in the middle. When you start with something that's not very pushed and then you start compromising, you end up with something awful. Like nothing, most of these candidates are not going to have any of their plans happen verbatim. But if you start compromised, what you're going to end up with is even worse. I think Warren is just as unlikely as the rest of them to get her stuff implemented. I also think the way Warren has pivoted on her Medicare for All plan as her campaign goes on, I don't trust that she wouldn't pivot more as the thing goes on. I also don't think Warren's very likely to get the nom, so it's not worth discussing the details of her policies. Thanks for the 8 months there, Just John. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Odds and Embercleave here. Can't beat it. Not going to play around it. All right, so there's 2 Drowned Secrets in here. So if I hit Underworld Breach, we can probably combo here, huh? So we're going to start by doing that.
Let me aid your research.
Oh, wait, was there a breach in my bin already? There's not. She also wasn't at 3. Yeah, I agree. I actually gave money to Warren's campaign before I gave money to Bernie's campaign. And at this point, I've definitely given Bernie more. I gave money to Pete at 1.2 before he pivoted and taught us that he was just an opportunistic person playing politics and not actually trying to change things. Yeah, that's what brought up the topic today, Alucard. Oliver's piece. I think the biggest thing John Oliver's piece did really well is John Oliver's piece talked about the false choice that people often talk about. The biggest thing that put me off of Pete Buttigieg is the fact that he parrots the healthcare place lie, and that's what it is, a lie that people like their healthcare. That's nonsense. I think Warren actually says it really best. Warren talks about how people like their doctors, they like their chiropractors, and they like the people that provide their healthcare. People don't like their insurance companies. No one who's gone through lots of medical care and had to deal with their insurance company on end is going to tell you they like their insurance company. That's a lie that's perpetuated by people like Pete Buttigieg and people that pump endless money and make lots of profit off people being sick. Correct. Yeah, you don't have marketplace choice. You get what your employer gives and you hope it's good enough. All right, so I think we combo them from here, right? So we have Underworld Breach.
I follow the track.
And then we go play Breach. And then we go play Drowned Secrets. Let's go play Drowned Secrets. I saw a survey where a bunch of primary voters both described Warren as either too liberal, too conservative. Yeah, waffling on the progressive one is not good. All right, so from here, every Kiora we cast mills us 4 cards, and it costs us 0 mana. Yes, there are lots of people who are afraid of Medicare for All because they don't understand that the insurance companies that profit off of them pay to help ensure that they're afraid. Actually, I can actually play this other drone secrets here too, huh? Is it right to cast the Kiora in hand? It just actually doesn't matter. So now, casting Kioras, looping off these Lotus Fields, mills us out. And then eventually we win just like the Breach deck wins in Pioneer by escaping a Thassa's Oracle here. So Kiora with Lotus Field is free, and Kiora is legendary, so she puts the other copy of herself into the bin here. And then, regardless of how many cards are into our deck, we're always milling more than we're escaping here. Hope everybody's got their jacket on, chat. Winter's nice and cold this year.
Don't mind if I take my octopus for a walk? The ocean surges, life thrives.
Hey, thanks for the half a year, Risu. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, opponent playing to that clock damage. I mean, to be fair, our comboing here also requires us to put our entire deck in the bin. So, like, the opponent was definitely on a fact-finding mission that game too, right? 1 more month, and you have to properly learn how to pronounce Cantio. Or you could just call me Jonathan or Paula. Paula works for me. Thanks for the absurdly generous tier 3, Paula, and I appreciate the 23 months at that. Welcome back. All right, so Lava Coil and Aether Gust both seem good here. Do I just trim Arboreal Grazer here? Their deck's not that aggressive, right? Is this a Storm's Wrath matchup? They do have the adventure creatures, and this does kill Questing Beast. It notably misses Lovestruck Beast, but it does kill the 1/1s that allow Lovestruck Beast to attack, which is very appealing. Is it possible I want to trim Tamiyo here on the draw? We've not, Zaza. There's a build similar to that, I believe, in the deck queue, but we've not played it on stream yet. I believe the opponent is using Sword of Fire and Ice sleeves. We can double check here in a second, which I believe were a paper item. Pretty easy mulligan here. No plays for forever. This is not exciting, but it's fine. Think I bottom that for now. We're gonna lead on Temple of Enlightenment here, so if we draw a Lava Coil, we can cast it. Gonna bottom that, just looking for a ramp spell. Yeah, these are the Sword of Fire and Ice sleeves. I'm pretty sure they were an F&M thing. As is the case with most of the cosmetics in Arena, these sleeves are excellent. Speaking of excellent, I take a little bit of damage here. So we're taking at least 8 this turn, possibly more. Next turn will be Kiora, untap Lotus Field, play Storm's Wrath. I'm really excited for this fall for Arena, not only because of Teferi leaving Standard, but also because Historic will have more of its own feel by then. Wrath does do damage to our Kiora, huh? Yeah, it doesn't really matter, because, like, I'm dead to anything anyways. Hey, HernQ, congrats. Scale of 1 to dead, where am I at here? Dead to a lot. Untapped land, untapped land, untapped land. Well, hashtag not dead yet. We were so close, chat. We were so close. It does, Yzamot. I've enjoyed the standard format a lot. This, since Pioneer's inception in October, right now is the first time I've had more standard than Pioneer decks in the queue, which is both a testament to how good this standard is and how poor the current Pioneer is, I think. Sadness on the stack resolves. Thanks for the quarter of a year. 3 months of combo winter. When is it spring? Here's hoping. I mean, the actual answer automatic is there's a lot of different decks in this format, so just playing something that's incredibly proactive, like the adventure deck, seems like a fine choice. And again, I'd encourage you not to, like, draw conclusions from just, like, watching random matches on the stream. Like, us playing against one person playing an adventure deck doesn't mean adventure decks are coming back. Not having any red mana means if we draw something like Storm's Wrath, we're going to be in a pretty medium spot. I think I'm going to play this land and then untap my breeding pool so I can hold up Aether Gust here. I might also... Actually, I think I'm just going to Aether Gust this Innkeeper on draw step. I honestly don't know, Bib. I don't know what the actual recommended system requirements are. And then Arena just has issues within itself. My system is almost assuredly overkill for what Arena is software-wise. I have, like, an actual gaming graphics card and then a high-end processor.
You're making me crabby.
Guess we just activate this. Yeah, I'd believe that. Based on feedback I've heard from other people, there's just like random hardware configurations where it just like doesn't work, period. Well, I get to eat their 1/1 here. Unfortunate. Needed that last turn so we could have drawn an extra card. Yeah, wait till it's on, Bobo. Red Kreplin, thanks for the half a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I suppose I can Underworld Breach to escape Uro for 2 less cards. I'm going to chump block with this, because if we draw a red source, I'm going to Storm's Wrath. I mean, that's a joke, right? Is that an onion-esque site? So, this counts as escaping it. Okay. Yeah, onion-esque site. Still not a red source. There aren't TS Pump Fist. Discard spells and counter spells work to a degree, but the combo decks that are doing well in Pioneer are doing well because they're incredibly resilient and they play their own discard spells and counter spells. So regardless of what cards you bring in to interact with them, they're going to interact with you better. That's just how they work. We draw an untapped red source here. We get to Storm's Wrath, which would be great. If we don't, there's a good chance we're dead. Yikes. It's not even just combo control. It's the fact that if you have me list the number of ways to interact with Inverter, it's an incredibly small list. It's an incredibly small list. I think I'm supposed to submit 0 here, just hope to draw a red source. Yeah, if I attack, they get to trade with Questing Beast, though, and I'd prefer they don't get to trade with Questing Beast. The goal is to use Storm's Wrath, the Questing Beast. Deba, that's all, folks. Well, we got to combo at least once. Let's give this one more try. Feels very similar to the Vanafear deck that we played a bit. Okay, linear plan. Feels pretty low in terms of player agency. This deck overall. Feels similar to both Vanafear and just the other ramp decks. We're just like kind of asking ourselves, do we have it? And if we have it, we're good. And if we don't have it, we just kind of flop around. Underworld Breach has been a little bit awkward when we're not in a situation where we're ready to combo, which is probably about the norm as I'd expect it to be. Huh? Sometimes, Rumple, some of the fast aggro decks are good, but like again, if the format's just like fast aggro versus fast disruptive combo, like that's not really a format I want to enjoy playing. It's not the format that I liked playing when I liked Pioneer. Maybe I was supposed to be greedy there and bin a land. Very possible I was supposed to be greedy and bin a land. And again, one of the things that, again, I feel like is a bad metric that players use all the time in a bad way is that there's a bulk of Magic players I feel like are of the opinion that are like, if a Magic deck has something that it loses to, that means it's fine and you should leave it alone. And I think that that's a mindset that's toxic. It creates bad gameplay, and and that mindset basically says the quality of the gameplay in your format doesn't matter. Yeah, it's actually in the deck queue, Maddie. This card in general is just kind of absurd. Hope you had a good weekend and aren't too dead this morning. What's the over-under on the selection being the largest showdown in history? Here's hoping.
You show remorse, I'll show restraint. Don't worry, I got this.
Quote from PT Phoenix article, Mono Black Aggro won 1 out of 16 matches against Lotus Breach in our small sample size. The Mono Black Aggro, so here's the thing though, the Mono Black Aggro deck isn't really just a linear aggro deck. If you look at like what it's doing from a pure racing perspective, it's not that quick. The power in the mono black deck was that it was disruptive and resilient, and once upon a time, Pioneer started out as a format where being a resilient aggro deck was meaningful. With the combo winter that we've entered now, being resilient isn't meaningful because people are just killing you as opposed to playing a mid-range game. I think I'm not quite ready for Wolfwillow Haven. Let's just bottom that. I think that really does anything for me here. So I don't have enough cards in my bin currently to escape Uro, so we're going to start with Tamiyo. I actually don't know which format, and yeah, it could have been either. LSV beat Mono Black in his last game to 5-0 with Lotus Breach by copying his opponent's Mutavault with his 3 stages. That's great.
I've got it.
Hey, thanks for the 21 months, Drew. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I did not watch the finals of the tournament yesterday. No, for people who are asking. You countered my Uro. All right, hold on. I'm going to do it again. Maybe I'm supposed to leave the Tamiyo instead of the backup Uro here. I don't know. Could go either way on that. Another absorb. Fair's fair, I suppose.
I'll protect you.
Well, if that wasn't the best draw in my deck, I don't know what was. Hey, the Eldoon. Thank you for the 8 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Don't mind me. I'll just be over here escaping. They're dead? No, I didn't have a second drown secret. So I can't quite combo. So I could have maybe gone for it if I would have kept the drown secret, if I would have hit the drown secret. But, like, also here, like, I don't really have to combo them that turn to win this game, right? Yeah, if there was gonna be a ban list update today, it would have happened already. So, I guess we can just assume Pioneer's gonna be left to rot. So, in general, with sequencing of triggers in Magic, you should always try and make decisions. You should always try and order your triggers so the things that require you to make decisions happen last. So, for example, with the drawing a card and picking a land, the card I draw could dictate what land I would like to get with Cavalier. So it's just objectively correct to draw my card before I find the land, because one of those things gives me a choice and the other one doesn't. So I'd rather have the one where I'm making a choice happen first. Or I'm not making a choice happen first. Venethrax, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I mean, I don't think it's fair to say they don't care. I think it's fair to say that they want... I think the fair statement is what Modern is right now is what Wizards of the Coast wants their non-rotating formats to be. And whether or not you think that's a good thing or a bad thing is up for debate. But to me, in my mind, and this is something we've kind of known, right? Like, we've known that they could make Modern not be a linear cluster, but they chose not to. And I was hoping, and I think a lot of other people were hoping as well, that Pioneer would be something different, that it also wouldn't have the goal to be a very linear format. And it feels to me like with the printing of Theros and then the lack of management after the printing, that is not their goal. Their goal is explicitly not to have the format be more fair.
The ocean surges.
In my opinion, that's a mistake because we already have plenty of unfair formats. But again, that's a personal choice. That's a personal feeling. It's not objectively right or wrong. What if they have a counterspell here? If I hit... Actually, I think I just have enough things in my bin here to go for this. There's only 18 cards in my deck, and I have 11 cards in my bin. So I'm only milling 2 per cycle. But I get to... I queued up a liability burrito and then you got all dice.
Just gonna slip away.
Just can't kelp myself. That was like a Ral level pun. It's pretty good.
Time to ebb from battle. Yet you've never been
It's been more than 2 weeks, look, no numbers. It's been more than 2 weeks. And again, if, honestly, look, no numbers, if they're just temporarily letting Inverter be a thing in Pioneer, in my opinion, that's worse. Because the point of not having scheduled ban list updates anymore was supposed to be we're not left to rot any longer. So that was we were supposed to avoid situations like this. So the conclusion that I think is accurate is they want the format to be like this. If they don't want the format to be like this, I think they've made an incredible mistake by leaving it rot this long. I also think people who are like they need more data, you're silly for not understanding how much Magic Online data they already get. Like, there is an incredible amount of Magic Online data every single week. Like, a week's worth of Moto Leagues and events on there should be enough to make informed decisions in most cases, much less several large tournaments past that.
Leviathans, octopuses, serpents. Oh, I love them all.
So again, just going to keep casting Kioras out of our graveyard until our deck is empty, and then eventually we'll be able to cast Thassa's Oracle.
The ocean surges, life thrives.
If they have a Dobin's veto here, they could beat us.
Time to ebb from battle.
I don't have enough mana to play around things, chat.
Just can't kill. Nature flows with vigor.
See, your problem, look, no numbers, is you're making your basis off of Wizards of the Coast consistently and uniformly banning things based on previous precedent, which in my opinion, they've shown us time and time again that that's just not how they function. They don't have uniform and consistent ban list applications. I think I want to board in 6 counter spells and board out 6 accelerants here. Is the plan. Technically, thank you for the 7 months. Welcome back. Yeah, I think that's the case. I think there's a chance they want Pioneer to be a combo format. I think that's a decision that doesn't make me personally happy and doesn't make some other people personally happy, but it is a decision they could make. So again, we shouldn't assume that they're doing this because they're bad at their jobs or whatever. It's probably a safe assumption that they want this to be this way. Thobble, thanks for the 26 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I feel like the people claiming that it's a mistake are projecting. I don't know, Fact or Fiction. I don't know. That card is really good against our hand. I don't know, Tron Dragon. Maybe they changed their minds. I don't know. And again, just like I mentioned to look no numbers, I think going in with the assumption that they want to be uniform and consistent in their decisions kind of runs counter to what they've done in the past.
My octopus for a walk.
Still a Farian, thanks for the 28 months.
I have just the trick for this.
I have no idea, Hunox. That's probably a tough thing to measure. There's a lot of variables that go into things like that. So I would assume even with having complete Magic Online data on Wizards of the Coast part, answering that question is probably incredibly difficult, I would imagine. I think I'm just gonna play this tapped and pass. Yeah, that's true too. Depends on what their success metric is. I mean, you could argue this current standard format is very combo oriented and it's incredibly successful. Again, just to like have the waters get muddied a little bit even further. I don't know. At the end of the day, my advice that we talked about for Modern for a long time definitely applies to Pioneer and every other format. If you don't enjoy a particular format of Magic, rather than railing constantly for it to change, you're much better off, you'll be happier, and have more fun, honestly, if you just play formats that you enjoy and just ignore the ones you don't. And, you know, feel free to revisit the formats that you didn't enjoy previously when they have a big change, but, like, sitting there and expecting things to change when, like, it's very obvious that they're not is just going to lead to you being frustrated.
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
So that's why, for example, myself, rather than continuing to play a bunch of Pioneer, I've simply said I'm going to be playing less of it and I'm taking less submissions for it. Do what makes you happy, chat. One of the things I differ on opinions with a lot of people, I find, is that a lot of people often look at Magic and Magic formats as investments. I think that's incredibly silly. Money I spend on Magic the Gathering is like money I would spend going to see a movie or like going out to eat. It's entertainment budget. It's hobby budget. I don't look at my Magic cards as investments.
Let's get moving.
Your Magic Arena collection is not going to help you end up like Bloomberg. Oh, prison planeswalkers.
I've got time.
Hey, Alakane, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate the quarter of a year. Welcome back. Alright, I mean, I could technically attack their Narset now, I suppose. Which would be ideal, because I would like to draw some cards. Listen, Enya, I feel like you put this bad mojo on us, and it's entirely your fault. I feel like this is entirely your fault. Are you happy? Are you happy that I've been hurt? You did this to me. Do you understand? Do you understand what you've done to me? Do you understand? Alright, I'm gonna put Uro into play.
Love to make a splash.
delve some lanes here. Hey chat, remember if you're unhappy with Magic right now, we have a full set of Teferi's coming out soon. Ain't that the truth?
Might be a bad idea.
Okay. Well, I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. 11 mana. So if this first Cavalier hits an untapped land, I can cast the second Cavalier as well. So I think we go Breach here. And then we get Dovin's vetoed. Well, that's super unfortunate. Oh, Narset's been such a pain. I guess we just discard this and gain 3 again. Oh, Kiora cuts me off. Them killing Kiora cuts me off of the mana to do that. Yeah, let's try game 3 on the play. I don't know how I feel about the counter spells in the sideboard. I almost feel like after watching this game play out, I would rather have... I almost feel like I'd rather have Fries in my sideboard as opposed to all these Strokes and Disputes. You could play Questing Beast. Questing Beast is an interesting thought. It's a threat that cuts their things down. Yeah, Questing Beast could be interesting. I feel like a side of Fries wouldn't be a terrible idea, though. So, like, I don't have that much acceleration in my deck post-board in this matchup when I brought in these counter spells. So, like, I don't think, unlike game 1, it's realistic to just mulligan to a hand with acceleration. So I think I keep these kind of mediocre hands and just, like, hope they work out. Is the game plan. Perfect. Mediocre hand, kind of working out stage 1. He says before his opponent plays a Teferi and bounces his accelerant. Nah, people can and should keep mediocre hands all the time. Just be luckier. All right. Biggity bomb number 1. That man combo winter is windy, chat. There she blows. I'm excited for take 2, the Cavalier Boogaloo next turn.
Focus hone your prowess.
Oh, because I put this on my only blue source, this has to find a blue now. I think I get this and shock it in. So this way I can hold up Disdainful Stroke to stroke a Conquer's Death this turn. I love the soundtrack on this Eldraine board. It's so good. So naturally, since I shocked in this land to hold up Disdainful Stroke, my opponent's going to play Teferi and bounce my Cavalier, I'd assume. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Stegall. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Play a Conquer's Death. Play a Conquer's Death. I think I put Kiora on top here. And then if I play this, she can untap Breeding Pool, play Cavalier. Cavalier doesn't get to draw a card, but it does get to get a land still. Yeah, I did at least get to draw a card off the Shatter, that's true. That is true. If we can kill this Narset, the Uro backed up by our graveyard getting filled up should win the game. I think I just pass here and hold up Dispute. What an incredibly interesting and not entirely frustrating method of gameplay pattern. Blue-white Sex. It is very similar to a prison deck. Izarella Gears, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. The upside here is their Conqueror's Death popped off there, and it didn't get to get anything back. Why did I prioritize Uro over the Cavalier? I mean, they knew about both of them. I guess maybe I'm supposed to bait with the Uro there. I just assumed they weren't going to counter the Uro, so it just didn't matter. That was mostly a shrug. They're countering the one they know about. If they didn't know about the Cavalier, I definitely would lead on escaping the Uro. But because they knew about it, I don't think it really was a relevant decision. This is the part where they have an instant speed Wrath again, I'd assume. If this kills Narset, we're going to be in a really good spot. Oh, we're halfway there. Is Accelerators historically considered an option to side out versus control, mainly due to the board wipes? Yeah, so acceleration tends to not be good here because acceleration is an effect that helps you get under people, and even with your accelerators, you're not going to successfully get under what an opponent like this is doing. So if you're not getting under them anyways, you might as well just have higher threat density. I think I just do this aggressively. Oh, you know what? No, I was saying, should I get a counterspell? But getting a counterspell doesn't matter because they have Teferi. Correct. Yeah, I'm gonna get to untap a land here and cast Tamiyo. I don't even need to untap a land. I'm gonna untap a land in case they have a dispute as their last card.
The ocean surges, life thrives.
Tamiyo's gonna go ahead and pick up Cavalier of Thorns here.
Tonight.
Yeah, I feel like I want Fry in my sideboard because the way these games play out seems like it's night and day different if my opponent's allowed to keep a Narset in play. If my opponent keeps a Narset in play, I can't just bury them in cards. So I think having Questing Beast or Fries as a way to interact with that card seems really appealing.
Trust me, I have a plan.
Yeah, the Narset denied us an absurd number of draws. We're not playing Ceratops. That actually might be the choice. Yeah, that card basically kills Narset. And it's a threat when they don't have Narset. That's probably better than... only have 5 cards in my bin. I guess I don't need the Uros or the Tamiyo. I just need the Kioras.
Tides always rise again. I'll show you Dry Walk as something truly spectacular.
So, if I untap this, I get to play this and still have 5 mana up, so that's fine. Have we decked while playing this? Well, that's the goal. The goal is to deck. If you deck while playing it, you're winning.
Belly flopped. My pets are hungry, and you look like lunch.
Opponent conceding rather than watching us sit here to fumble through. Yeah, this was neat. Ramp combo. Gosh, this format just has a combo deck for everyone, huh? We have aggro combo, we have control combo, we have mid-range combo, we have ramp combo now. Really kind of feels like we hit the goulet of combo decks, huh? Anywho, I feel like Thrashing Brontodon is probably better than these Return to Natures in the red matchup, and I feel like Fry or Ceratops is something I would want in the sideboard. I don't know which. I think some counter spells is probably good, but I think I would cut half of these counter spells, probably 3 of them. I think my gut says 2 disputes or dispute and 2 strokes, and play some combination of Fry and Ceratops. Which one's going to be more ideal is going to differ depending on what type of exact situation that you're in. But I think I would probably lead towards Ceratops just because this is a card, while it's going to kill Narset a little bit less consistently, it also has text when they don't have Narset out. This is a card that you don't mind killing Teferi with, because it can also kill a Narset later down the line. So I feel like I'd start with this and see how the matchup feels after playing this, and then potentially try Fry as well as a comparison. Life Guardian, thanks for 17 months, welcome back. All right, that's gonna wrap on the Temur Breach deck, but don't go anywhere, we got plenty of other standard coming up. Before we move on to Bant Calyx, did anyone want to cut the line? It feels like Bant Calyx is like the deck that we're just never gonna get to. There's been a lot of jumping in front of it. All right, at any rate, I'm gonna go ahead and hit a quick ad roll and get everything switched over. When we come back, we're gonna try this 3-color control deck featuring Calyx. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere. It also kills Troll. Fry does not kill Troll.